it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So I am going to do a video, a small haul, because I only have like 4 books, but there's a couple things I got recently that I do also want to share, but only 4 books. I'm wearing my asexual necklace today because why not? I did want to say I'm thinking about doing another writing vlog, so let me know if that's something you're interested in. And like I said, I do want to start talking more about my writing books as well as my reading books, which obviously I talk a lot about. I know I did a video not that long ago doing where I talked about where I read a snippet of The Realm Monsters, and I talked about doing another snippet from that book and maybe The Vampire's Creation, which is now out and available for purchase. So maybe I can do that, read a snippet for The Vampire's Creation. I do not yet have a physical copy of it, so I will read from my document. Or maybe I'll just wait until I get a snippet or the actual book and read another snippet from Realm Monsters. I could always do that too. Let me know what you want. If you want a snippet from The Vampire's Creation, I would love to read one. Um, what scene though is the question. I also did a video recently where I did the questions that I've been using to interview in the authors on my current series, and I could also do that for my first series and my second series if you guys are interested in knowing more about those 2 series as well. The first series I am done with unless I come up with another idea in the future. It's a trilogy and a prequel. The second series is a duology, but there will be a sequel duology. When that comes out, I have no idea. I have started book 1, but it's kind of on hold because this series has become my main focus. I don't know because I plan to make a prequel trilogy after this that goes with this series, so I may work on that duology and trilogy around the same time. We'll see, but I'll give you more updates on that when it happens. And yeah, so I've just been kind of trying to find more ideas and stuff that I can do for my channel, and I thought I could do another writing vlog, and I thought of these other ideas because I do want to talk more about my writing and my books and try to promote more on my channel, so hopefully I'll get more sales. So definitely let me know if those are things you would be interested in. I would love to talk more about them. So I'm here for this small haul I told you about. So a couple weeks ago, a month at the most, I had a little extra money, so I bought this. It's from someone I know on Twitter, a friend of mine, and she's actually the first person I did the author interview for, and I knew hearing her talk about it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this sounds so interesting. I want to read it. My mom also watched the live, and she said that sounds interesting too. She got it on Kindle Unlimited. She hasn't read it yet, but because right now she's currently reading my latest book that I published because she reads all my books whenever as soon as she can. She only got Kindle Unlimited recently, so she used to have to wait till she had the money to buy them, but now she can support me this way. She still plans to buy the physical copy because she wants to get all my books in hardcover, because before the books were able to come out in hardcover, she bought them in paperback. So now she just wants to get them all in hardcover, which I think right now the only one she has it. I think she has the Witch of Light and no, she doesn't. She has that on paperback. Okay, I think the only one she has in hardcover is Realm Monsters, but she plans to get all of them in hardcover because that's what she prefers. So yeah, um, but I'm so excited to read this. I plan to read this next month, hopefully. Next month I want to kind of finish the indie books I started. Because I kind of got a little. Last month I ended up not reading at all, like literally 0 books. And that was kind of intentional, which I haven't read 0. Even on my worst months, I feel like I'm able to at least read something, at least a book, at least half a book at the very least. But I wanted to get the Vampire's Creation done, writing, editing, and ready for publication, which it came out June 10th. Um, so I wanted to get it done. So because of that, I decided to not read because I need all my focus and attention on finishing that book, and I did. So yay. Um, and then this month I obviously wanted to do Pride books. One of my indie books I have on my TBR I will be reading this month because it's the only indie book I know for sure has think somebody's doing fireworks. That has queer characters. So yeah. But next month I want to finish the indie books on my TBR, which I think I have 4 left. Yeah, 4. No, 5. And the books I got for my birthday in December, which I think is 4, but 2 of them are 2 of the indie books, so that goes hand in hand, luckily. Um, but this is one book I definitely want to read tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna read it tomorrow, guys. Next month. Um, it's probably one of my most anticipated reads, honestly, but I think I'm going to finish The Warriors of Bria first because I did start that series, but then I got busy and things just happened and I just couldn't finish it, but so I want to finish that first. But after that, this is next on my list because this is one of my most highly anticipated books. I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait to read it. It just sounds so good. Um, it says the consequences of freedom, the sacrifice for what is loved, and battle for the future, all in the shadow of a castle that looms large over all who preside within the kingdom. Like I said, sounds interesting, and I'm very intrigued, and I want to read it. So yeah. Um, and when I bought this, I had a little extra, so I also bought a thing of tabs because I couldn't help myself. I have been without tabs since they got ruined in my house fire back last September. So right now I'm doing a reread. I'm rereading Hocus Pocus and the All New Sequel for Pride Month. So that one obviously already has tabs because I read it forever ago. Um, but now I have tabs again. Yay! Lots of tabs too. Lots of tabs. Thankfully. So because I have lots of tabs, I can start tabbing my books once I stop rereading because sadly I do not know of that many books that have queer characters, and none of them that I own, except for the ones that I've already read, have queer characters. And I really want to find more queer fantasy. Um, so if you know any queer fantasy, let me know because I need more. But like the romance as a side plot at the same time. Like I want more queer characters, but the romance part be like a side plot because I'm not much of a romance reader. I prefer it to be a subplot and have the fantasy and whatever be the main focus. Um, so give me your recommendations because I'm gonna need them because I need more queer fantasy books, which is why I write queer fantasy books, especially representation we don't see often. I know Arrow Ace, whether it's Arrow Ace or just aromantic or just asexual representation is very important to me because I am an Arrow Ace lesbian, but I also in my current series have a pansexual MC and a non-binary character, along with 2 Arrow Ace characters, obviously, because those are also representation you just do not see often. But yeah, so I have my tabs and I have this book that I'm excited to read, so I'm definitely going to be reading it soon. Um, and then the other day, my friend, a booktube friend, if you guys have not subscribed to her yet, you should. Is Lady Loves That Reads. Her name is Jessica. She's very lovely, and we've been friends on booktube for a while. Feels like forever, honestly. But I know a while ago I kind of forgot about it because it was feels like so long ago. She said she sent me a picture of a middle grade book. It was like, um, I'm on hauling this. Do you want it? I can send it to you. I was like, sure. It's a middle grade fantasy, and I love fantasy. YA fantasy is my favorite. Middle grade would be a close second because I do love a lot of middle grade fantasy. Some of my favorite series I think are middle grade fantasy. So I was like, yeah, sure. Um, but like I said, that's forever ago. But then she ended up sending me 3 books along with these notepad thingies. So I was like, that was amazing of her. She is lovely. And yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use these for yet, but I will find a use for them. Um, and she sent me a little note, so that was sweet. Um, if I can get these out. Okay. This is actually a book I used to own and have read at least once, if not twice. It is from the TV show Once Upon a Time. It is actually before. Once Upon a Time. So before Red's story on Once Upon a Time, she's actually one of my favorite characters in the early seasons. Sadly, she left. She was kind of written out, like out of nowhere, but then she does come back for a couple episodes before leaving again. Um, but I absolutely loved her character, which we saw more of her, and I loved seeing this book. And but my copy got destroyed in the fire. Sadly, there's also one about Regina and one about Henry and Violet. I wasn't too fine with that, maybe because I wasn't a huge fan of Henry and Violet. I mean, they were bad; they were just meh. But I absolutely love Reds, and this one was my favorite out of the three. So I'm so happy to have a new copy. And I never had a book like this where it's like black faded edges, and my last copy was too. And yeah, it's just really nice. Um, but yeah, I remember I only read this once or twice, but I remember really liking it. I think I rated it 4 stars, so now I can reread it with and this character is queer. Um, it's not shown in the book though because she doesn't actually find out until she returns for a few episodes, and then she has a storyline where she falls in love with Dorothy. Yes, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, because she's red like Red Riding Hood. So I mean, technically, I could probably read it this month. I'm not going to because I am running out of time to read these books that I have planned. But I probably could, even though there's no queer in this book. I mean, she is technically a queer character, so I mean, technically, right? If we're going by the show standards, which is canon. So there's book one. Then I also got this, which um, I think my best friend owned because I'm pretty sure I've seen this with her books. Because the cover looks so familiar, but I have no idea what it's about. I'm pretty sure I've just seen the cover from her books. So I'm like 99% sure that my best friend owns this book. Whether she's read it or not is another question. But um, I didn't even read the back of this book, did I? But it says the hooded cloak was made of rich red fabric, a lovely brocade on the outside and lined in lush velvet. I stood and tried it on, loving how the hood draped over my braids in the cape flowed so regularly to the ground. It's just, oh, here's the actual, okay. It's wolf's time, the foreboding period around each full moon when villagers must protect their homes and families against the giant ferocious wolves that roamed the forest. On this day, Red turned 13. Granny gave her a special red cloak upon which a spell had been cast to protect Red from wolves. Red is now 16 and desperately trying to fit in among her peers, save Granny's failing bakery business, and, of course, protect herself from wolves. Her crush on Peter and her determination not to let the mean girls sabotage her blossoming romance cause Red to make some questionable choices. Will these choices let the wolves in? Will Red pick the right battle? Will her skills be strong enough to keep her alive? So yeah. But then this book says, Seraphina, daughter of Isabella, Queen of Miramora, has been raised with the exception and burden that she will someday become ruler of the oldest civilization of the merfolk. On the eve of the Dokumi ceremony, which will determine if she is worthy of the crown, Sarah's turn is hunted by a strange dream and that foretells the return of an ancient evil. Her dark premonitions are confirmed when an assassin's arrow poisons Sarah's mother. Now Seraphina and her best friend Neela must embark on a quest to find the assassin's master and prevent a war between the Mare nations. Their search will lead them to other mermaid heroines to scatter across the six seas. Together they will form an unbreakable bond of sisterhood as they uncover conspiracies that threaten their world's very existence. Rich with magic and mythology, adventure and danger, romance and friendship, and themes both classic and contemporary, Deep Blue, Book 1 of the Waterfire saga is an epic tale as expensive, mysterious, and beguiling in the sea itself. I didn't realize it was a part of a series, but I do prefer series if you know anything about me at this point. But yeah, um, sounds very intriguing. I'm actually going to buddy read this with my friend Lucy. I'm also going to buddy read the other one, which I'll get into in a minute. But so because she said she really likes mermaids. And she said this one was on her TBR anyway, so we are planning on buddy reading. Not entirely sure when I think we're talking about next month, but not next month, probably the month after that. So we shall see. It depends on how many books I have one to read next month. And yeah. So The Marvelers. This is the one that she told me she was gonna send to me. So marvelous. The lucky kids got called that. Praise like honey drizzled on hot biscuits. But Ella's family didn't believe in gassing you up. Clothes ironed, make your bed, clean your plate, and most importantly, did you mind your business so nobody was minding you? Even now, during the greatest, the awesomest, the most spectacular thing that had ever happened in all 11 years of Ella Duran's life, her parents were squabbling and telling her what to do. Oh, here. Okay. 11-year-old Ella Duran is the first conjurer to attend the Arcanum Training Institute, a magic school in the clouds where marvelers from around the world practice their cultural arts like brewing Indian spiced elixirs and battering with pesky Irish pixies. Despite her excitement, Ella discovers that being the first isn't easy. Some marvelers mistrust her magic, which they deem bad and unnatural, but eventually she finds herself in the elixir's teacher, Master G. Ducker, and fellow misfits Bridget, a girl who hates magic, and Jason, a boy with fondness for magical creatures. When a dangerous criminal known as the Ace of Anarchy escapes prison, supposedly with a conjurer's aid, tension grew in the Marvelian world, and Ella becomes the target of suspicion. Worse, Master G. Ducker, I have no idea how to pronounce that, mysteriously disappears while away on a research trip. With the help of her friends and her own growing powers, Ella must find a way to clear her family's name and track down her mentor before it's too late. Sounds interesting. And like I said, fantasy, middle grade, sounds amazing. Ooh, there's a map, sort of the school. So yeah, those are the books I got and the other things I got as well. So I still put them in this box. I have no idea why. I haven't put them with my other books yet because that's a lot of work. I'm putting the other book with it right now. But yeah, so thank you again, Jessica, for sending me these. That they are it was very lovely of you, and I cannot wait to read them. And I cannot wait to read Ellie's book. Either B and her book 2, An Impossible Dream, comes out November. I don't remember the day. I want to say 22nd or around then. So yeah, I'm very excited for that as well. Part of me wants to wait to read this book for second book to come out, but the other part of me just wants to read it right now and just have to suffer until the book comes out because I know I'm going to enjoy it. It just sounds really good. And it's not hard to please me. If it's fantasy, then I'm usually pretty like. I mean, I like honestly most books I read, I end up rating like 4 or 5 stars. Very few times do I rate 3 stars, and then even fewer times do I rate it 1 or 2 or flat out DNF it, which I recently DNF'd the book, which was the first time I DNF'd a book in who knows how long. Years, I think. I'm not even kidding, I think it's been years. Because I usually only gravitate towards books that usually only pick up books that I'm like sure I'm going to love, which is why when I do end up not liking a book, it's that much more heartbreaking because it's like I was sure I was going to love it, but then I just didn't for whatever reason. And yeah, so I just tend to pick the books that I feel like I know what I like, so I just go to the books that I know that I like and pick those. So yeah, but thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment if you've read any of those, and I will talk to you guys next time.